Hello and welcome. Here's a look at the major global events from the last 24 hours. Okay, let's get right into it. First up, we're looking at some serious trade tensions heating up. Then we'll cover a pretty unconventional new peace plan. We also have to talk about some heartbreaking disasters in Chile and Spain. And finally, we'll wrap up with some absolutely wild drama in the world of sports. So, let's start with a major geopolitical flashpoint that's developing right now. The US has just threatened some of its key European allies with new tariffs. And what makes this so interesting, or maybe awkward, is the timing. It's happening right as the World Economic Forum is kicking off in Davos. So, what's this all about? Well, the US administration has announced it's planning to hit 8 European countries with these new tariffs. And the reason they've given? It's all about pressuring them to support America's long-standing ambition to, believe it or not, acquire Greenland. As you can imagine, this is really cranking up the tension across the Atlantic.
Let's look at the details here. This isn't just a one-off thing. It's a two-step plan. It starts with a 10% tariff on February 1st, but then it's set to jump to a pretty massive 25% on June 1st. And we're talking about some of the U.S.'s closest allies here. Now, the EU isn't just sitting back and taking it. They've made it very clear they're gearing up to fight back with a huge retaliatory package of their own. We're talking something in the neighborhood of 93 billion euros.
And this is where it gets really ironic. You've got this economic pressure campaign, these tariff threats happening on one hand, and on the other, a record number of world leaders are all gathering in Davos, in Switzerland. And get this, the theme of the whole event is a spirit of dialogue. I mean, you couldn't write it. It just perfectly highlights these two clashing ideas about how countries should deal with each other. All right, let's switch gears a bit, but stick with the theme of international diplomacy. There's another major development, also led by the US, and, well, it's definitely a new and, frankly, pretty controversial take on peace building, with its initial focus on Gaza. So, the White House is introducing this new thing called the Board of Peace. The official line is that it's designed to handle what comes next in Gaza, reconstruction, disarmament, that sort of thing. But if you dig into the details, it seems like the ambition is much, much bigger. It's being set up as a tool that could be used for other conflicts all over the world. So how does this board actually work? Well, this is where it gets different, really different. To get a permanent seat on this board, a country has to pay. And the price tag? A cool $1 billion. If you don't pay up, you can still be a member, but only for a 3-year term. So yeah, it's basically a pay-to-play system for diplomacy. Your influence is directly tied to how much money you put in. And when you look at who's on the executive committee, it's a real who's who of big names in politics and business. But, and this is a big but, it's already hitting some turbulence. The Israeli government has come out and said, hey, nobody talked to us about this. They've stated that not only were they not coordinated with, but this whole thing actually goes against their official policy. So, not a smooth start. Now we have to turn to some really difficult news. The last 24 hours have brought just profound tragedy, with 2 separate, devastating disasters, one in South America and one in Europe. And this just shows the incredible human toll. In central Chile, terrible wildfires made worse by a blistering summer heatwave have tragically killed at least 19 people. On top of that, 1,500 people are now homeless, and a staggering 50,000 have had to evacuate. At the same time, over in Spain, there's been a horrific collision between 2 high-speed trains near Ademuz. At least 40 people have lost their lives, which makes this the deadliest train accident in that country in more than 10 years. Okay, to finish up, let's move to the world of sports, which has given us plenty to talk about, from a completely chaotic cup final to the setup for a massive championship game. Wow, the Africa Cup of Nations final was just something else. It was Senegal versus the host, Morocco, and it completely fell into chaos. So picture this, it's stoppage time, and Morocco gets a really controversial penalty call. Senegal's coach was so furious, he literally told his team to walk off the field. They were gone for 16 minutes. When they finally came back, Morocco's Brahim Diaz steps up and tries this little cheeky chip shot, a panenka, that just floats right to the goalie. He missed it. After all that drama, Senegal, clearly fired up, went on to score the winning goal in extra time. Just unbelievable. And over in the US, the stage is set for a college football national championship that honestly sounds like it's straight out of a Hollywood movie. In one corner, you have the Indiana Hoosiers. They are undefeated, a perfect 15-0, and they've never, ever been to the championship game before. And who are they playing? The Miami Hurricanes, a total powerhouse program going for their 6th national title. And the kicker? The game is being played in Miami's home stadium. Talk about a home field advantage. So let's do a quick recap of today's top stories. We've got rising geopolitical tensions, with U.S. tariff threats clashing with the spirit of dialogue at Davos. There's a new and controversial billion-dollar board of peace looking to change the game of diplomacy. We're also seeing the heartbreaking aftermath of disasters in both Chile and Spain. And of course, the sports world gave us an unforgettable, chaotic final in the Africa Cup of Nations and is now gearing up for a historic college football championship.
We'll, of course, keep tracking all of these stories as they continue to develop.
Thanks so much for tuning in. And hey, if you want to stay informed, please make sure to like and subscribe.